Quacketology rolls on. If it's not Jalen Phillips on the edge, who will it be to add to Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt? Who will be this year's Adoree Jackson? And if it's not Reed Blankenship, who's playing next to Drew Makuba? Fran Duffy, EJ Smith are going to tell us next as Quacketology, the defense beckon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles Podcast on, I believe, a Thursday. Live from the Xfinity Studio and presented by our friends at Ashley. Wulf, EJ Smith. Fran Duffy's here. We got a three-hander ready for the first round of the defensive side of the bracket on Quacketology. Fran, EJ, how you guys doing?
Doing great. You guys did a great show yesterday. It was fun just tuning in and seeing all the offensive players being thrown around, but I'm excited to jump into 32 defensive players.
Looking forward to it. Now, we do have boots on the ground.
I was going to say, I'm doing well too, you know.
I mean, I asked both of you.
He did.
You could have jumped in. You didn't. You left the airspace.
You guys know me. I'm not going to jump in. You know, it's not my forte, but yeah, I am excited to discuss a lot of Eagles news on the show as well.
And you were all over the place on
yes. And just generally, yes, all over the place is a good way to describe me.
On the scene in Philadelphia last night, heard from multiple people. Big screen appearance from EJ Smith at the Sixers game last night.
Yeah, no, we went to the Sixers game. We ended up on the Jumbotron. My nephew was kind of he was excited, but like, I think the moment was a little big for him. But no, we had a good time. Didn't make it to the end of the game, but we had a great time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did he lock up?
Look at this.
Oh, we have a picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out. Had a great time. My dad, my nephew, and my lovely wife Julia.
That's great.
Yeah, we had a good
Shout
time.
out to all of them.
Enjoyed the game. Enjoyed some good seats. You know. So yeah, it was good.
All right. Before we get into Quacketology, a little bit of NFL news that affects the Eagles to some degree. Let's talk about that through the prism of the right people, presented by our friends at TrueMark Financial. The right people. Do the Eagles have the right person in A.J. Brown? I think they would like that to be the case. Whether he stays is probably a little bit more up to A.J. Brown, but the trade market has changed a little bit based on what happened today. What was that, EJ?
Yeah, so the Buffalo Bills traded a second-round pick for DJ Moore, and I think a day 3 pick coming back the other way. So to me, this is significant for a couple of reasons. First, it takes the Buffalo Bills off of the trade market for a receiver, theoretically. What, you're making me nervous here?
No, that's true.
I didn't.
Okay, sorry. All over the place, as you said. So yeah, it takes the Buffalo Bills off of the trade market. It also, in my mind, sets a price for veteran receivers on the trade market that I think the Eagles will be pretty happy with. A 2 for DJ Moore. Again, I know there's a pick going the other way, but a 2 for DJ Moore makes the Eagles reported asking price for AJ Brown, which is reportedly a 1 and then a sweetener on top of that, makes it seem more realistic. I know that it takes the Bills off of the wide receiver market again in theory, but it kind of also increases the urgency and it takes away a fallback plan for a team like the New England Patriots, or even I would throw the Kansas City Chiefs in there, the Baltimore Ravens. It takes an option off the board for them and kind of sets the market in a way that I think is favorable for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, they're just the track record of the two of them is not even close.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
AJ Brown had a terrible season last year, just the worst season he's ever had with an Eagle, and it was still over 1,000 yards. And DJ Moore had not even 700 yards last year.
Yeah, different caliber of player, and especially if you are a Super Bowl contender, I think you could see the value in spending more for a player like AJ Brown. So yeah, I think that this was a good day for Howie Roseman's asking price.
But one fewer suitor, in theory.
In theory, but I still think the Patriots are probably the one that you'd circle as like, if you could just get them into a position. Again, they released Trevon Diggs shortly after our show yesterday. if you can get them into an out leverage position where they have to, make a move at receiver, are they going to leave it for the draft? Or as this really drags on, I do think that you have enough teams that are interested. It's a matter of getting teams that are willing to pay the price. And I think this probably pushes you closer to having a team that's willing to pay that price.
Fran, do you have any interest in the possibility, if you're a Chiefs fan, of flipping the pick you just got for Trent McDuffie or A.J. Brown?
Potentially. I think that, look, the Chiefs absolutely need some sort of offensive firepower, some way to be able to defeat man-to-man coverage. That was not something that they did at a high rate last year. So I think being able to add a player like A.J. Brown is something that they would be interested in, especially given the fact that, as we've talked about, like this draft class doesn't have a ton of blue chip talent. So any receiver that they're going to take at 9 overall is not going to be equivalent to A.J. Brown, even at his age.
Yeah, if I'm Patrick Mahomes, like I'm marching into Brett Veach's office and I'm saying, like, go get me that guy.
Go get me that guy.
That was pretty good. I mean, especially like you wonder how the Chiefs reacted to the Trent McDuffie trade. Like from a player perspective or a coach perspective, you probably aren't thrilled about a young player, a talented player going out the door for a draft pick. If you use it to go get A.J. Brown, it smooths things over a lot more. So I wouldn't discount it. I think it makes sense from a Chiefs perspective. I don't think Eagles fans would like it, right?
I still think New England is the spot, and I think that Buffalo. That's what the idea. Like, there's one less suitor. I think that ratchets the urgency level up for New England.
Exactly.
So like, all right, this is a team that's chasing us in our division. To me, that's the one to watch.
I think it's generally a good thing that this happened for the Eagles. I think that they're a winner in this.
Okay, that'll do it for The Right People, presented by our friends at TrueMark Financial. All right, before we get into the first matchup of the second round, as we try to whittle down what defensive free agent the Eagles are most likely to sign next week, let's talk big picture here. Obviously, 3 starters set to potentially leave: Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship. Fran, if all 3 of those guys go, do you think the Eagles will play the patient game and let the market come to them, or do you think they will have a target who they want to make a splash on?
The tough part about it would be if Jalen Phillips goes, he's going for a hefty price tag, and that's, we know, like in terms of like the comp pick game, how that can get a little messy. And so now, if you were to go and get Bradley Chubb, that would not count against the comp pick formula, and so you can get aggressive there, bring back someone that Vic Fangio is familiar with, and that doesn't count against you. That's not a bad backup plan. I think with Nakobe, I think that's. You have Jahad Campbell elevating into that role. Reed Blankenship's a little trickier. I think if the right,
they're interested,
but it's it is a decent safety market.
Yes.
There's a lot of vet. We could talk through that. The other one obviously is Adoree Jackson as well, but we'll talk through that as well.
Yes, I should have mentioned Adoree Jackson.
Yeah,
we're going to talk corners. Okay, let's get to it. 32 players. There will be no linebackers among these 32. Although, I mean, obviously the Eagles will, even if Nakobe leaves, they'll sign somebody to compete, but we're not going to talk about that today. No defensive tackles on this list. We've got 11 edges, 12 corners, 9 safeties, and we start with an edge against a corner.
Just an unbelievable.
This is awesome.
Graphic. Just
good.
Phenomenal.
So good. And again, these guys are seeded by total projected guaranteed money. So the number 1 seed on the defensive side of the ball is Trey Hendrickson, of course, of the Cincinnati Bengals. He is going up in a Trey-on-Trey matchup against Trevon Diggs, the ex-Cowboys corner who was waived, spent the end of the season on the Packers. Trey Hendrickson, 31 years old next season. Our projected contract here is 3 for $101 with $60 million guaranteed. 35 sacks, 17.5 each in 2023 and 2024, but had a core muscle injury that robbed him of 9 games last season, just 4 sacks in 7 games. But if Jalen Phillips leaves and you really, really, really want to make a splash on the edge, does Trey Hendrickson make sense? And would you rather sign Trey Hendrickson than trade for Max Crosby, I guess?
That is the operative question. That's why I sort of hand-waved Trey Hendrickson in this exercise.
Okay.
I think that there is a pathway toward the Eagles signing Trevon Diggs. Like, I think I could see it. Not saying I feel amazing about it, but I think in this matchup, I'd rather have Trevon Diggs.
What's the background with him and Jalen? They were Trevon was a receiver there when Jalen was quarterback, right?
Yeah, and it's like very anecdotal, but I have noticed at times over the years when they played against each other, there is like a mutual respect. Like I remember, I think it was Trevon Diggs either tackled Jalen or intercepted Jalen, and then afterward, Jalen kind of walked over to him and gave him like a head pat, like a pat on the helmet, like you got me there. So definitely a mutual respect, cohabitation matrix.
All right.
Making here from you.
I feel like I remember a stat that Diggs has picked him off more than any defender in the NFL.
Does feel like
obviously had an awesome start to his career with the Cowboys. Had those 11 interceptions in his second season. He's been very banged up. He's missed 29 games the last 3 seasons, and also lost his job.
Yeah, I think
we're talking like $2 million guaranteed here.
I do think that Hendrickson makes more sense to me than Crosby does.
I agree with you. I would rather overpay for Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
On 2 years worth of real money.
Yeah.
Than give up draft pick compensation. And pay Max Crosby. I agree with that.
I don't think that there's a huge difference between the two guys.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I have been pretty dismissive of the Max Crosby speculation. And we should mention Lane Johnson poured some gasoline on the fire today by tweeting at Max Crosby with the eyeball emojis, which, I mean, I know Lane's a big emoji on social media guy, but I would have liked some more clarity on that as a reporter. I would have liked to know what he was alluding to there. It's interesting to hear you say you think that those two are pretty close, because the one thing I will always say with Crosby is like he's a difference-making player, impact player at a premium position. So you can't dismiss it because the Eagles value those guys so much. I guess you could argue that Trey Hendrickson is the same. I feel like the gulf between them is a little bit wider.
I think Hendrickson's an awesome player. I do think that Crosby, like in a vacuum, if we're saying that both guys are free agents, I would prefer Crosby.
But you're not giving up the first to them.
I'm not giving up the picks on top of it. So I would say that Hendrickson would make more sense. But if you were going to pay Hendrickson, then you would probably be paying Phillips, but I guess we're assuming that Phillips is going to get more money on the open market.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
I kind of still think Hendrickson will get more per year.
Right.
Phillips may get more total guarantees because he's younger.
Yeah. Maybe.
I just find
I might go opposite there.
Really?
Yeah, that Hendrickson gets more guaranteed because he's more proven and he's iron. He's always
I just think there will be more years of guarantees on
more years of guarantees.
But that means that it ends up being more guarantees. Yeah.
It's just like it's such a unique pathway that leads you to signing Trey Hendrickson in free agency. It's like you didn't extend Jalen Phillips, you decided not to get into the trade market for Max Crosby, and instead you signed Trey Hendrickson.
I think and
you're not playing
unlikely.
You're not playing the comp pick game if you sign him. I don't know.
As a longtime Trevon Diggs believer as a corner, I would like that. I think the injuries have taken their toll, but I think he'd be a great fit in the scheme.
Oh, really? You think so? You think he's a scheme
I think he'd be a good scheme fit. His zone awareness, that was always a huge plus in his game, was like the way he read routes and was able to kind of see the forest through the trees and make plays on the ball. So I think he'd be a great fit.
Yeah, I think this is a very realistic bottom feeding in free agency. No, I'm serious.
I know it's just it's a funny way to describe it.
Yeah, yes. I think there's a good chance they're spending $4 million on 2 different guys to compete at that spot. And Trevon Diggs absolutely makes sense as one of those guys.
I agree.
Just the former Cowboy of it.
That is a tough sell. All right, we got a 16 or a 32 versus 1 upset here. Trevon Diggs moving on over Trey Hendrickson in the first matchup of Quacketology on the defensive side of the ball. Next up, edge on edge, Kwity Paye, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, 27 years old. Always makes me think of Old Dirty Bastard, because I just think Kwity Paye, like shimmy, shimmy, yeah. It works very well. And he's going up against Kingsley Enagbare from the Green Bay Packers. What can you tell us about these guys, Fran? And do you think one is a better scheme fit?
I think Paye is probably the better scheme fit, but I think both guys could be very useful for the Eagles. I don't think that either is a particularly impactful, certainly not to Jalen Phillips, obviously. But if you're saying, all right, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, your starters, this guy's first man off the bench, You could do worse. I do think that Enagbare will have probably a bigger market. Would be my guess, slightly.
Think so?
I think so. I think that he's shown a little bit more pop as a rusher. Like his highs have been a little bit higher than with Kwity Paye, who's a first round pick, so he's always going to have that attached to his name. But to me, he's been better run defender than pass rusher, and what I've seen from him so far in the NFL, never lived up to like the athletic upside that people thought he had coming out of Michigan. So yeah,
I noticed that people thought he had. So you were a little lower.
I was lower on him. Yeah.
Well, I do have over the past 2 years the free agent edge rushers, how they have fared as rushers in the quarterback hit rate. We can pull up that list, Lindsay. Now, obviously, Hendrickson is at the top here. Odafe, who we will get to, then Bradley Chubb, and then even like we'll get to Boye Mafe. Now, like his pressure rate is higher than his hit rate, but there is not a lot of productivity there. But Enagbare and Kwity Paye are locked right next to each other, with Enagbare just a smidge above.
I'm like looking at the ranks too.
Yes.
The only thing I'd really harp on,
and I feel like Enagbare also I feel like I got pushed around in that playoff game.
Yeah.
The truth is, I don't think the Eagles are going to be interested in either of these guys.
Yeah,
because
the draft pedigree with Kwity Paye makes me think that's a good tiebreaker here.
I think if Kwity Paye's market turns out to be Azeez Ojulari's market from last year,
right,
and it's like really low,
yeah,
and they can get him for $4 million, then yeah, I could see that.
Okay,
and I think you're probably right that his market is more likely to completely collapse than Enagbare is.
Yeah, I had shades of Azeez Ojulari as one of my notes for Kwity Paye. Draft pedigree, you get him for 1 year on a prove it deal. I mean, yeah, you could squint and see it.
I think Barr is going to end up at Miami anyway, so I would say probably voting for Kwity Paye in this exercise.
Kwity Paye moves on. All right, through 2 matchups, you know what that means. Time to take a break. Come back on the other side. We will get into some corners. Nahshon, Wright, and Greg Newsome. Our first safety in Nick Cross, Marshon, Lattimore, Cam Curl, Geno, Stone, Jalen, Thompson, Alohi, Gilman. Come one, come all. Stay with us.
So last week, Bo keeps me in the studio a little bit longer than I was expecting. I'm on my way home. I'm hungry. I want something healthy. I want something affordable. And for that reason, I always am so thankful that I have a couple Wawas on my way home. They've got so many good deals, guys. They've got the $5 deals going all day. And honestly, if you're like me, it can make your life so much easier. If you're starting early, you can grab the $5 big breakfast meal deal. We're talking a sizzly, a hash brown, and any sized hot or iced coffee. That's a full morning win for $5, available from 5 to 11 a.m. Later in the day, the value keeps rolling with a roasted chicken sandwich or the crispy chicken sandwich created your way, starting at $5. They've even got new teriyaki recipes for a limited time. Start your day strong and fuel up whenever you need with Wawa's $5 deals. Again, they're huge for me. I think they can be really a lifesaver for you guys as well. Limited time, exclusions apply. See wawa.com for details. Gotta have a Wawa.
Let me tell you about a local business that has been helping Philly homeowners and their businesses stay pest-free. I am talking about our friends at Evans Pest Control. Not some giant national chain. This is a local, family-owned, community-focused pest control company right here in the Philly area, and they have been earning the trust of our neighborhoods for years. I live in the city. I can tell you from experience, pests, they're not knocking. They just show up. And when you need some help clearing out the pests from your house or your business, Evans is the place to call. They use state-of-the-art equipment, safe and effective treatment options, and their techs go through continuous training so they're equipped to handle anything from rodents, insects, and termites to bed bugs and more. So all you got to do is if you see signs of pests or you just want to prevent them before they start, reach out to Evans Pest Control and visit evanspestmgmt.com to schedule your free consultation. Back on the PHLY Eagles Podcast, Bo Wulf, Fran Duffy, EJ Smith. Fran, what are you laughing at?
Wasn't it the day 3 of the draft last year when the mice showed up?
It was actually day 2.
Day 2.
It was day 3 is during the day. It was like,
oh, that's right.
It was like 1 a.m. Yeah,
that's right.
One of my earliest formative memories in preschool was that the preschool had mice, and there's this one kid in my class, I can see his face vividly still because it was such a traumatic experience, and I remember it. He sees the mouse and he jumps up on a plastic chair. And like something about that, I'll never forget it.
I actually could see you as like adult EJ being afraid of mice.
I don't love mice. Yeah.
I
like we get like dead mice in our garage sometimes. It's like a detached garage and they get in there and I don't know, I won't lie. Like I'm not above admitting like I hate.
I used to like seeing them like race around. Like,
I
think like they own the place.
I remember the pitch of your voice as they were doing that last year. Yeah, you were very clearly perturbed by that.
I mean, it was definitely caught off guard at the very least.
When we moved into our house 3 years ago, we were looking at different preschools for Francis, and we go to this one, and it was in an old church. And so we walk in, and they show us around, they tour us through, and it's like old stone church. Beautiful building, but we're walking through and they're like, oh, this is where the kids nap during the day. And this is where they do this. Here's the playroom. They're showing it. And something like flies by. And I'm like, what is that? She's like, the woman like calls, she's like, Clarence, or whatever the guy's name was. She's like, the bat's back.
Oh, no.
Right into the room where the kids like sleep. And I'm like, yeah, this is nice, but we're not coming here.
Oh, no. That's very funny.
Oh, man.
All right, let's move to corner. I have not talked about corners yet, and I think this is I guess we talked about Trevon Diggs, but the top of the market here. We've got Nahshon Wright, who had an awesome season, Pro Bowl season for the Chicago Bears. Great story of like just betting on himself, self-improvement, ex-third-round pick of the Cowboys, had not done much, and then had this awesome season for your boy, Dennis Allen, Fran. He goes up against Greg Newsome, who draft pedigree, traded at the end of that contract to the Jags, finished his season there. I would like him to finish the sentence. You know what I mean? Greg Newsome. What did he Newsome? What did he know?
Well, what if he's Newsome too?
He's the Newsome the second.
Yeah, I know, but
Greg Newsome
just
TOO. Newsome, he knew some too.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Man, he just walked right into your like corner. He walked into your shop and just started selling stuff like that.
Yeah,
he is the expert in your field now.
I mean,
let's not go too far.
Yeah.
No, I mean that was great.
Yes, and it.
He landed the plane.
He played along.
Yeah.
What do you think about these guys?
My guess is that Wright is going to have a pretty fair sized market.
Yeah, we've got him projected at for 340.5 with 25 guaranteed.
Yeah,
and Greg Newsome just 111 with 7.
Yeah, that's I think that, and also I think Newsome, having played for Jim Schwartz last year, I think that there's
but being discarded.
Yes, but the Eagles. First of all, the Eagles have played the Browns a couple times so over Newsome's tenure in the preseason, so they've gotten a chance to see him up close a few times and join practices.
True.
My guess is that there are people in the Eagles building that have Jim Schwartz on speed dial and are willing to call for a character reference there.
You think so?
And so I think that when you look at Newsome, I think he's more likely than, especially with Wright's market.
One of the funniest things at the combine was like probably 5 different conversations, people just being like, so how about the Eagles just tampering with Jim Schwartz, huh?
I mean,
they worked for the last defensive coordinator.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Cheating, you're not trying.
Very good point.
I think. I mean, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to be in the Nahshon Wright market.
He's an awesome player, like fun player to watch.
Fun player to watch. That one interception was like super cool. But here's my other question and thing to think about is the way that Howie has talked about not wanting to do in-season extensions.
Yeah.
Right. And sort of upsetting the apple cart of paying guys, and then okay, well, why don't you pay me? I would be really surprised if Howie goes out and pays at the top of the market for a young corner, because you're then bringing that guy into the room with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and this is the guy who we're really ponying up for. And of course, Howie's gonna, they're gonna pay Quinyon and Cooper eventually, but I think it's much more likely that room is filled out with an old head like Adoree Jackson, and or hopefully both, a guy at the bottom of the market who's young, who has a chance to rebound.
Yeah. I think there's one player that we'll talk about that I wonder if there's an exception here, but neither of these guys, I would say. I think there's a price where Newsome would make a lot of sense. If his market stagnates, he is like...
I like the joint practice point too.
Yeah. So I think there's like a 1-year prove-it deal out there for Newsome with the Eagles if he doesn't get more elsewhere. So I think he should go through.
I think so too.
Newsome moves on. All right, next up, Nick Cross, the safety from the Colts, who is one of the guys who benefits. He is a young. He will turn 25 next season. Bunch of starting experience with the Colts. Versatile player, right? Inside the box.
Bit of a late bloomer, too, in Indianapolis, which speaks to why investing in young players is a good idea in the draft.
Right. And he's going up against Marshon Lattimore, who will not count against the comp pick formula, has had a real trouble staying healthy the past couple of years. Where do you guys see this one going? I think this one's pretty easy, but.
Really?
I don't think they're going to pay for Nick Cross.
Yeah, I don't think he. I was going to defer to Fran here, but it didn't seem like in my research he's a scheme fit.
Cross?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I could see him fitting.
We've got 452.
But I think, yeah,
that's
the thing.
26 guaranteed.
Paying up for a guy that like you could just kind of see fitting. I felt like, I mean, Marshon Lattimore has legitimate injury concerns. Like you don't know if he is going to be the same guy. It's kind of like similar to Jair Alexander in a way, just in terms of like you're not sure if this guy's going to play a full season at the level that you would hope that he would based off his name.
You would probably take a half a season.
Right, exactly. So he could be Adoree Jackson 2.0, but I say that like you could get first half of the season Adoree Jackson, or you could get second half of the season Adoree Jackson. So yeah, if you're signing Marshon Lattimore, you're probably signing him with a backup plan firmly in mind, or at least with knowing you need to have a couple of different options at that position. But I still think in this first round, you're putting him through.
I think Lattimore is precisely the type of play. To me, like I think at corner is where they go bargain basement shopping. I think that's the position, that's the spot where it would make sense to say, hey, you know what? Like let's bring a guy in on a 1-year deal, a prove it type of deal, a guy that we think can step in and start last year's Adoree Jackson. If they don't bring Adoree back,
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show.
Makes sense.
Kim,
shout out
Kim from Rita's. Just bring it here.
Bring it on in.
Yeah. Oh, you're
going
going
mango.
We got some mango. Rita's wine.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Coming on.
Rita's.
We got a great.
Get some hype for Kim
whole
in the
thing
chat.
going on at the studio.
Kim is just awesome. Yeah,
Give it up for Kim, everybody. Kim.
Straight ahead, right here.
Kim.
Hi.
Kim is a big fan of the show. Say hi.
Go Birds. Love the show. I'm obsessed. Oh my God. I said something to Fran the other day when we
Tuesday.
were leaving.
Yep.
And then I went home and I saw that you guys were talking about it. And I literally wrote on Twitter, I'm like, Fran, I swear I was listening to the show when I said we need a
blocking tight end.
There you go.
Shows ball.
Tune in tomorrow to see if a blocking tight end wins Quacketology.
Ooh, good tease.
Enjoy your mango Ritas.
Yeah, shout out to Rita.
Love it, Ritas.
Thanks, guys.
Spring has
Thank you,
sprung.
Kim.
You know what that means. Time for some Ritas. How about that?
It's like Eagles training camp.
Oh, yeah. Love a mango, too. Elite.
We all went mango.
Yes.
I know. I'm just. There were options. And
Mango.
I'm out.
I promise I will not be doing anything like that or what EJ did earlier this week.
Do you think there's a chance that they do at safety go make a really big splash?
No, you're stealing my thing. This was my. This was going to be my thing.
All right. Well,
I was going to save it.
All right, fine.
No, we can do it now.
No,
Let's
save it.
How about we do it on the other side of the break?
No, we're not ready for the break just yet.
All right, I'm just going to sit here.
All right, Marshon Lattimore moves on over Nick Cross. Now we got a safety on safety matchup. Cam Curl from the Rams, 27 years old.
That's interesting.
We've got him getting $32 million guaranteed. 4 for 65. Versatile player, packs a punch. I do think it's good that his name's not Cam Hitch.
Yeah.
He's going up against Geno Stone. Geno Stone unturned from the Cincinnati Bengals. Signed a handsome deal with them 2 years ago from the Ravens, and then had to take a pay cut last year, 5'11", 210. Hasn't missed a single game the last 4 seasons. We've only got him projected at 1.5.
I think, what was Curl projected at?
465.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, big time.
Why? I mean, he's a nice player. Don't get me wrong. With that,
no,
465.
That's a lot of money.
That's a hefty number. That's a hefty number. Yeah, I think if that's the case, then Stone.
Who do you think is a better scheme fit?
I think it's I think it's pretty close regardless. I think I would be intrigued by Curl more in the scheme. He has not been a play. See, the thing is, when he was in Washington, and even going back to college, Arkansas, like was not known as like a playmaker on the ball. But if you saw the late down the stretch this season, and was it the playoff game where he had that ridiculous interception in the middle of the field late in the game for the Rams? He's got a dimension. I always liked him when he was in Washington. But 4 for 65. That's probably more.
Change a little bit less.
Yeah, I think so. But even like 4 for 65.
Geno Stone to me is a very Howie prototype.
Yeah.
Now it's not the draft pedigree,
right?
But just in terms of buying the dip in the stock.
Yep.
And this is a guy who can still start and has starting experience. Can come in and be the old head too. He's not even that old. He's going to be 27 this year. But the experienced guy with Makuba, I think Geno Stone makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, just adding to it, even he grew up in the Pittsburgh area. Like, I feel like there is even that like element to it. Not to say the Eagles always care about like local guys, but there's
Pittsburgh's like 5 hours away.
It's close enough that I feel like it's worth noting.
You grew up in Maine.
No, it's a Pennsylvania guy. A guy knows what it means.
Grew up in North Carolina,
in the great state of Pennsylvania.
Crazy take.
I mean, it's like I'm not saying it's the draft pedigree or the cohabitation. No, I think it is still worth noting that he grew up in Pennsylvania.
All right,
I like a local story.
So do I. It's not
local. All right, Geno Stone moves on. One more matchup before our next break. Another safety on safety matchup. Jalen Thompson from the Arizona Cardinals, 28 years old. We've got him $11 million a year with 22 guaranteed, entering his 8th season. Maybe with Rallis, there's a little bit of scheme carryover. He goes up against Alohi Gilman, traded midseason for Odafe Owe to the Baltimore Ravens. A little bit undersized, 5'10", 201. Could you have a safety tandem of two small guys?
Yeah, that was the thing I worried about with Alohi Gilman. Like, that is a very tiny safety group.
What do we got for projections on these two?
So Thompson 11 a year and Gilman 9 a year.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think Thompson. I think the projections are right. I think Thompson probably has the bigger market. I think that Gilman is the ideal. Like, he gives you solid play, stable. Thompson probably a little bit more variance, but I kind of like the highs with him a little bit more. My guess is Thompson is probably more likely to stay in Arizona because they bought Rallis back to Arizona. So let's go Gilman because they had a change in coaching staff.
I was going to ask you, like, is Jalen Thompson the type of player that, how he goes to Vic and he's like, Reed's going to cost $10 million a year for 3 years. Is Thompson a player where Vic is like, if you're going to be paying that, go get Jalen Thompson instead?
I think they'd rather just keep Reed. I think that if you're going to make that argument, I would say just pay Reed.
Yeah,
that's why I think either of these guys probably lose the next round anyway.
Yeah, no, I figured that's where we would go, but I wanted to leave the door open. Like, is there a safety in this cluster that it's like, if you're in that market already, go get that guy instead of Reed? Because I mean, listen, I've said consistently, I think Reed's intangible value to the secondary, being able to be like the traffic cop back there, is something that they value. But if there's a player with more upside, would you consider them in this market?
Yeah, I went into this one expecting Thompson only
Same.
because of the two small guys thing.
Yeah.
I would think I would still vote for Thompson.
The chat likes Thompson. Wait, it says 52? 50.
Wow, 50, a 50-50 split.
Man.
It's up to you. You get to pick the tie.
I think I'm going to go Thompson. I'm sorry, Fran.
I think it's perfect. To me, it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other.
Yeah. All right, Jalen Thompson moves on.
Yeah, neither of them are probably making it past the second round anyway.
Time for our next break. Stay with us on the other side. Jamel Dean against Malcolm Koonce. Alontae Taylor. Fran likes him, Alontae. He's involved. Mike Danna, Boye Mafe, CJ GJ, and the man whose name sounds like a dorm room. Find out who it is. Stick around. Spring is back, baby, and you know what that means. Rita's is back, and Rita's is here on PHLY. That's right. It's the sweet sound of Rita's season, and all your favorite frozen treats are back and better than ever. Nothing, and I mean nothing, hits like that first refreshing Italian ice of the season. Or maybe you're a frozen custard person. Smooth, creamy, perfect every time. And if you really want to do it right, you know what to do. Hit up the gelati. Layered just the way you love it. Sun's out, flavors are popping, and it's officially treat yourself weather. And don't forget to download the Rita's app, because new app users get a free small gelati, ice, or custard with their first purchase. That's free happiness waiting for you. So come in to Rita's and make this season the sweetest one yet with ice, custard, and happiness. Treat yourself to a scoop of happiness today. Be cool. Go to Rita's. Learn more at ritasIce.com.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It's Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. It's super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that lets you stream the game even when your whole family is online. Just picture it, all your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part? No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment already included in the deal. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. You can learn more at Xfinity.com. Again, that's Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Podcast. One bad thing about Rita's is it's hard to enunciate when your tongue is this cold.
I had a little brain freeze over the ad break. Had to power through.
But we power on. Because that's what we get paid to do. Jamel Dean enters the tournament. Cornerback from the Bucks. Has missed some time.
Yes.
Also had to take a pay cut last year. Kind of like a Jamel Dean, though. Missed at least 2 games in all 7 of his NFL seasons. So he is not a picture of stability and a much different style of defense that he was playing in.
Correct.
How do you think that he would fit in a Vic Fangio defense? Because profile-wise, he feels a little bit like a Howie Special to me.
What is the projection on Jamel Dean?
232, so 16 a year with 18 guaranteed.
And how did that compare to Marshon Lattimore?
Oh, Marshon Lattimore is much less.
Yeah, I would. To me, I mean, Lattimore's a little bit older, but it's a similar kind of injury bet. I mean, Lattimore has been hurt more, has missed more games in the last 2 years, but I think that I would rather pay less for the Lattimore upside than with Dean, where you're paying more.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be spending a lot of money at corner, would be my read on it. So I think it's less likely.
Well, he's going up against Malcolm Koonce, who was an interesting profile in last year's free agency, was coming off a completely missed season, and then came back this year and was just okay. But you might think that second year removed, he can do something. 28 years old this season. Projection here is like $11 million a year with only 9 guaranteed.
Can we flash up the pass rush?
Yeah.
What was it? It was not pressure. It was
hit rate. Quarterback hit rate.
Yeah, that's hits per pass rush snap.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see. So where is Koonce on this list?
He was like halfway
in
down
between Khalil Mack and Arnold Ebiketie.
Okay, I mean,
and that's really that's one season for him because he didn't play 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think he's an intriguing profile. Like he feels kind of like an Eagles player, an Eagles free agent, like in the sense that there's theoretical upside. You're kind of like you said, buying the dip. You could talk me into this guy.
You can definitely hear the Eagles crowd after a Malcolm Koonce sack.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fun.
And a local guy who played college at Buffalo.
I'm gonna have to take that one on the chin. Yeah, I mean, it's just
same drive to Pittsburgh.
I always look in the Pro Football Reference. I always look for PA. I'm not saying Pittsburgh is local. I should walk that one back.
So you guys go Koonce here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would go Koonce.
All right. Congratulations to Malcolm Koonce, who moves on. And now we close out this quarter of the bracket with Alontae Taylor, the young corner from the New Orleans Saints, Fran's guy. 27 years old. We are looking at $470 for him, $36 million guaranteed. Did you know that Alontae Taylor leads the league in what I like to call havoc plays over the past 2 seasons, which is basically every time you touch the ball as a defender. So pass breakups, interceptions, fumble recoveries, fumbles forced, all that stuff. Leads the entire league over the past 2 seasons, but he's going to be pricey.
Yeah.
He's going up against Mike Danna, who was released by the Chiefs. And this is someone with very little pass rush upside, but he is an edge setter and will not count against the comp pick formula. 28 years old. You're looking at like $2 million.
So I got something to get off my chest with Alontae Taylor here. We have seen the Eagles sniff around defensive back free agents in the past that maybe would have surprised you, right? Xavier McKinney, Marcus Williams as examples of like, oh man, I wouldn't have expected them to be in that market for that type of player. Could we potentially see if Jalen Phillips, especially if Jalen Phillips walks? Now listen, the comp pick game is real here, and it's a big factor, but could we see like, oh, they're not actually going to invest heavily in edge? Maybe Vic Fangio is like pounding the table for a secondary player like Alontae Taylor. I'm not saying I think it's a likelihood, but again, there have been a few times where I've been like, man, I can't believe that they're really like heavily in on these guys. Now, they didn't get either of those guys, but could Alontae Taylor be that type of player where the Eagles are surprisingly in his market for some reason?
I think that's a fair framing because I think Alontae Taylor, you can convince me from Howie's perspective, is not, we really want to upgrade at corner. It's more, we think he's one of like 3 blue chip players available.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're in the business of adding blue chip players, and we think he is that. And if the market is fair enough, then yes, we're interested.
There's enough versatility where you put him and Cooper DeJean in the same secondary, and
tell us about the kind of player.
Yeah. So he has played outside and inside, and he's been really productive, as you mentioned. This is a guy that plays with a lot of aggression and the instincts. I really liked him in college coming up, and then what he's done in New Orleans. He has been a really active, physical, aggressive, instinctive player. To me, what was the APY projection?
4 for 70.
4 for 70. So what's that? That's
17 and a half.
17 and a half. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's kind of where I think. I mean, Paulson Devo got 18 last year from the same defense. I'll give me the over on the 17 and a half. I bet she makes over what a Debo made last year.
Okay. You think Danna makes sense? Or
I think Danna makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's unsexy, but
he is similar, like in terms of role and usage to BG. BG's a better rusher.
Yeah.
You know, I think that in terms of like lines up outside on early downs, could kick inside, give you a little bit of rush from the inside. But I mean, BG's been a better player over the course of his career, but it's the same archetype.
Yeah. Danna might be more realistic. I
think it's fun to think about Alontae Taylor. I don't think that's crazy. I think you're probably right that if they're gonna pay more than $7 million for a corner, they might as well look for the one blue chip guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would also be a big departure from the way that they build their teams to invest that heavily in the secondary, especially at the expense of edge rusher. You'd probably be leaving edge rusher for the draft if you made that type of move in free agency.
To be clear, I would love if they brought in Alontae Taylor, but that would be very surprising for me.
Okay. All right. Next up, we move to the bottom right portion of the graphic. Boye Mafe, coming off a Super Bowl championship with the Seattle Seahawks, 27 years old. People like him. They said the pressure rate's high. 473 is the projection here. $35 million guaranteed. Now he can drop if you look at the percentage of times these edge guys are in coverage. He does that a lot. But like I said before, the actual production of hitting the quarterback is shockingly low from Boye Mafe. He goes up against Mr. Guaranteed Super Bowl run himself, C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Probably Mafe, right? You think they would go round 3 with C.J. GJ?
No, but I don't think there's any reason for them to be interested in Boye Mafe.
It would just be, I don't know. My guess is the ship has sailed.
This is like one of those like lifeless 8-9 matchups where it's like, they're just getting to the second round to get knocked out.
Yeah.
I'd probably lean Mafe. It would shock me if they re-signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
It's like the most like UAB versus Northwestern 8-9 in March Madness.
I'm taking C.J.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just don't think there's any reason for them to pay at the top of the market for Boye Mafe. That's not a Howie move.
I agree, but I also think that there is a lot of evidence that they would not bring C.J. Gardner-Johnson back for a third time.
All right, you get to break the tie.
Give me Mafe.
All right, Boye Mafe moves on. Next up, the dormitory. That's right, Logan Hall. I lived there freshman year. Logan Hall from the Tampa Bay Bucks, inside-outside versatility. We got him at $13 million guaranteed, $325. He goes up against a player that I am intrigued by and want to hear what Fran has to say about Jaquan Brisker, the safety from the Chicago Bears. It's a bit of a concussion history. Missed a bunch of the season 2 years ago.
Yep.
You know, you take that into account.
Yeah.
But he's going to be 27 years old. $13 million a year is what we're looking at here, essentially.
Local kid from right outside Pittsburgh. But when you're looking at you're never going to live that down. Brisker's a good player, but
like
the durability is that's the concern. Because I know in talking with people from Chicago last year, that was like a long term I don't know if we're gonna be able to count on him. And obviously he was healthy this year, thankfully. But that's a concern. So I think that honestly will probably affect his market.
Yeah, it might affect his market enough that how he comes swooping in.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes it is instructive to go back and look at, if these guys played in the Pennsylvania area, just kidding. If they have been if they went for a pre-draft visit with the Eagles.
And
Jaquan Brisker checked the cohabitation matrix box in my spreadsheet because of the fact that he had a pre-draft visit with the team and he has the draft pedigree. So he kind of checks the boxes that we like to check for the Eagles, but I don't know if I would
his spreadsheet.
run away with it.
Let's take a look. I haven't seen the sheet. Oh, there's colors.
Yeah.
The guys I was intrigued by.
Okay.
Positions. The spreadsheet offered this for me. So
the spreadsheet offered. Oh, so you listened to AI on your.
Is that AI? Oh no.
Yeah.
Now Bo's out. Give it a grade out of 10.
Gemini asked what spreadsheet.
I thought it was fine.
It's good. It looks good.
I had some color coding in here too.
Congrats.
Draft guide. So
look at that. Yeah, that looks good.
All right, going with?
Logan Hall. He's like he's big, explosive, not nuanced in terms of like overall pass rush plan. He's like a pocket pusher, like in terms of I'm just going to run right through you kind of deal. Probably Brisker for me.
Brisker?
Yeah. No.
I ain't even kissed it yet. Jaquan Brisker moves on. All right. Time to take our last break. On the other side, you know what we do. We keep on going. We close the book. Lots of people with safeties with the same name as former NBA players. There are at least 2 of them. Stay tuned. Everybody's got their favorite hard tea. I'm not talking about soft tea. We're not talking about medium tea. We're talking about hard tea. But here's the thing. Have you ever actually looked at what's inside some of those other hard teas? Turned the can to read what's in it? Usually you can't because they don't tell you because they're hiding it. And while some competitors hide what's inside, Crooked Tea brags about it. They puff out their chest and say, look what we make this out of, because it is something to be proud of. We're talking real USDA organic tea for real flavor with 0 sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So the next time you're at the store, flip the can, and if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. Then grab a Crooked Tea, 0 sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognize real, so why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea. The only thing better is a strip snack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you. Hey, Lindsay, what time is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's time to make your home work smarter, not harder. Because with a TrueMark Financial home equity line of credit, you can tap into your home's equity to handle renovations, upgrades, or whatever's next on your list. A TrueMark Financial HELOC Select gives you the flexibility to borrow when you need it and on your timeline. You start with a revolving line of credit, use only what you need, and when you're ready, you can lock in all or part of your balance at a fixed rate for predictable payments. You only pay interest on what you use, and as you pay it back, that credit becomes available again. No reapplying, no extra steps. Learn more at TrueMark's Financial home equity line of credit at TrueMark.com or stop by one of their 24 branch locations to get started. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender, NMLS 938. Make it happen with True Mark. Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Podcast. Time to keep on going. Bo Wulf, Fran Duffy, EJ Smith. We're talking potential defensive targets for the Eagles in free agency. We move to another safety, another Super Bowl champion, Kobe. Kobe Bryant from the Seattle Seahawks, 27 years old. Projection here is 3 for 36, so 12 a year, 24 guaranteed, pretty down the middle. And as you see there in the notes, EJ, maybe Mike Sealski will write a book about him.
It's a great book. Shout out Mike Sealski.
He goes up against his teammate, former Eagle, Josh Jobe. Josh Jobe, looking at like $10 million a year, 228 guaranteed potentially. What could have been? Not necessarily a playmaker. We know Josh Jobe well, but physical, sticky enough. Can you find Josh Jobe in the draft?
They didn't when they brought him in. Undrafted. Yeah, my guess is, again, I think that he is probably too rich for, even though he checks the cohabitation matrix box, my guess is that he's a little bit too rich of a market for the Eagles to jump back in on. And also, I think he probably is worth more to Seattle than to anybody else. My guess is they wouldn't bring Reek Woolen back, and so you're bringing Josh Jobe back instead. That's my read on it, though. Yeah,
I agree with that.
You like a Kobe Bryant?
I like a Kobe Bryant, yeah. A former college corner at Cincinnati, played opposite Sauce Gardner out there, local school, Cincinnati. And I think when you're looking at Kobe Bryant, he's like tall, long. Obviously, he had the corner background, but he's physical too. I like him. He's probably like more low-end starter. You probably would rather have like high-end backup, in an ideal sense. But, I mean, played well for a good defense this year.
There's a former Eagles corner that I'm more interested in than Josh Jobe.
Okay. A little teasy tease. All right, so Kobe Bryant moves on. Good for Kobe Bryant.
Jalen Watkins.
No.
Trying to guess former Eagles corner.
Jalen Watkins. Good pull.
Byron Max.
All right, next up, another safety. Brian Cook from the Kansas City Chiefs will be 26 this year. 26 million guaranteed. 3 for 40 is what we're looking at. Now, I mean, this guy is tall. 6'9", 234. Over the course of his 9 NBA seasons, had 5.5 points per game and 2.6 rebounds per game. Question is, at 45 years old, is he washed? He goes up against Arnold Ebiketie from the Atlanta Falcons, 27 years old. I think displaced a little bit by the picks that they made last year, which you can talk yourself into the reason that his playing time went down a little bit. Can drop in coverage a little bit. Market looking like 8 for a 1-year deal or something like that. 5 guaranteed, maybe. I actually think Ebiketie makes a lot of sense for the Eagles.
Yeah, pre-draft visit guy.
Right?
Yeah. He feels very like the concept, the process of Azeez Ojulari.
Yes.
It feels very similar. 1-year deal. This is a guy who has not been in an advantageous situation in Atlanta, and you kind of feel like you might be able to get more out of him in his second stop.
I think I was listening to a show recently and they made a good point. A lot of times you can, I'm trying to remember who made the point. It's all washing over me at this point. But when a new regime comes in, new coach and GM come in, more likely that a talented player may shake loose from that organization. Maybe they don't have enough time to be able to bring him back. And so that he would certainly check that box as well with Atlanta having a full regime change down there.
And any thoughts on a Brian Cook?
I thought he was just okay in the last couple of years, and he was solid this past year. From what I saw, not particularly moved. My guess is that he will sign a contract that like 2 years from now the team would want to go back on. Would be my guess if I had to guess the outcome there.
I think Ebiketie has a chance to make a deep run here.
I do.
That's my 2 cents. Ebiketie
makes sense.
Next up, we stay in the Chiefs secondary. You've got the McDuffie trade. You got Brian Cook. Now you got Jalen Watson. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jalen Watson. 27 years old. 343 is our projection here. 28 million guaranteed. Tough scheme projection, probably. Yeah. Only 1 year as a full-time starter. I feel like hard to justify what the market seems like it's going to be. He goes up against the guy who could have been Jalen Hurts. That's right. In the shadow draft in 2020, paired with Justin Jefferson, Gabe Davis, Geno Stone, AJ Epinesa. AJ Epinesa, 27 years old. Not a high ceiling as an edge rusher, but brings some good competency as a run defender. Lunch pail kind of player.
Yep.
You're looking at like $5 million a year, if that. What do you think?
I really like Epinesa here. I think that one makes a lot more sense. I think you're looking at similar-ish kind of reasoning for all the things we talked about with Ebiketie. He's got inside-outside versatility, which they will like. I think he can play against the run, which they will like. I think with Watson, I agree with you that the scheme was very important for him in Kansas City. He is a taller, more physical, like press type of corner in terms of like the size, physicality, but really question the speed. I haven't loved what I've seen from Watson. So yeah, I would go with AJ Epinesa. Thank you.
Feels like Epinesa's
the guy whose name is Epinesa. I butchered that.
I threw you off.
Girl from Ipanema, a guy named Epinesa. That's pretty good.
Epinesa feels like the type of player Vic Fangio would be like, yeah, definitely have a role for him. Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
Congratulations to Epinesa. Hopefully, well, you know what? The second round on Friday, we can redo the girl from Ipanema.
You can practice.
Maybe we'll actually get some music this time. Corner on corner matchup next. Another Kobe Durant from the St. Louis Rams. Los Angeles Rams. 28 years old. 22 guaranteed. How good can he be if the Rams were just willing to part with a first-round pick to go get Trent McDuffie? But he does have good ball skills. 7 interceptions over the course of his career. He goes up against Montaric Brown, former 7th-round pick who earned a starting job by the end of the season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not so sure he's a Howie type. I don't know that either of these guys are necessarily, but what do you think?
To me, the Durant one is more likely, but it would need to be a situation similar to the Ojulari one last year where the market is not as hot on him as what the talent might dictate, or, just because he was perceived down year, gave up some big plays down the stretch. Look, and maybe I'm in the bag for him a little bit because I loved him in college. But even in the NFL, watching him, he's got ability. You'd mentioned the ball skills, the instincts. He's tough, but it's different when you are like the number one corner and like it's like, oh, like this is the guy, like our number one receivers matched up on him, and now you go into a secondary where now you're not necessarily that guy. I think it would be a good situation for him, but the money I think would be important there.
Okay,
because I don't think they're going to spend a lot of money at that spot.
You want to move on? You want to push forward Kobe Durant?
I like that. You sold me, friend.
Okay, you sold me. Now this is one that I think we got to settle in on because, frankly, I think both of these guys have. This is a first-round matchup where both teams have a chance to win it all.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's how I feel. I'm going to start with the edge guy.
Okay.
Someone who we have talked about, Bradley Chubb. Now, Bradley Chubb obviously makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. In
a Jalen Phillips leaves world, you want to protect the pick. You can sign a player who's not quite as good, not quite as high upside, but can give you approximate representation. It's not going to count against the comp pick formula. Going to be 30 years old, has played for Vic Fangio. There's familiarity there. Played for Vic Fangio twice in 2 different spots.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense. And you're now getting him in the second year off of the torn ACL. Right? We're not quite there yet. He goes up against another player with some Vic Fangio connection. And if you want to find a way for the Eagles to stay cheap at corner but get some real upside, 27-year-old Kader Kohou, who was coming off a torn ACL in July. So he missed the entirety of the 2025 season, has a little bit of inside-outside flex. I think both of these guys have some legs.
Do you think Kohou has inside-outside flex, or is he mostly a slot corner? Fran, I have the snaps.
You have
453 snaps at slot corner and 187 at outside corner in 2024. I'm not saying you can't play outside corner. I'll defer to Fran on that one. But I do think that you have to ask yourself that question if you're going to sign him, is whether or not does that mean that Cooper DeJean is moving outside?
Yeah, I don't think Cooper's moving on.
Well, you know what I mean?
But if he shows up and he's awesome, then maybe figure it out.
I mean, it could be one of those things where Vic Fangio is like, I know I played him in the slot, but I know he can play outside, so we can put him outside and he'll be fine, and we're buying the dip there.
if you want to find out the resolution to this very difficult matchup, you got to come. Click on over to allphly.com for overtime. Go ahead. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. It was devious of you to pit these two against each other in the first round.
I didn't
say, did you go random? Did you?
No, I did all their projected guarantees. I seeded them off the guarantees.
Got it. Okay, I actually didn't put that together. I lean Chubb here.
Really?
Yeah, I lean Chubb. I think with Koho, just because of the question, the information that we don't know in terms of how Vic Fangio perceives him. Yeah. If he is a nickel only, then I don't think he has a home here.
The only thing I would say on the other side of the argument is what percentage are you putting on Jalen Phillips actually leaving in free agency? Because if they re-sign Jalen Phillips, it doesn't take them out of the Bradley Chubb market, but it does.
We do have we got a lot of edges here.
Yeah,
here because of the possibility that they don't re-sign Jalen
Right.
Phillips.
It's more, there's fewer things that have to happen for them to be interested in Koho.
Yeah, I guess the big thing is what is more likely, and we don't know. What is more likely, that Jalen Phillips leaves, or that Vic Fangio thinks this guy can play outside? Because that's where we're at in terms of like picking who's likely to move to the next round.
But I don't even think that it needs to be he thinks he can play outside. It can be this guy's available for $1 million.
I don't think he'll be available. I think because he was set to get a decent payday, like a pretty good payday, had he stayed healthy. Like my guess is if he's not coming off the ACL, you're looking in the $10 million bucket for Koho.
Well, and also, frankly, if you're going to be coming off a season-ending injury, an ACL in July is about the best possible thing to be coming off of.
I mean, Nate Hobbs just got $12 million. Marcus Jones just got just under $12 million. Michael Carter got $10 million 2 years ago. Koho's going to get north of $10 million if he's healthy. So, like, I don't think he's going for 1.5. I think he's going to get like 5.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think the outside skepticism is probably enough. So,
okay,
let's go with Chubb. I was playing devil's advocate, but yeah.
Chubb moves on. One more matchup to go. What's so funny?
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
I don't know. Think about Bradley erect, but you know.
Oh,
jeez.
That's overtime.
That's overtime. So quiet over there. Oh my God.
Last matchup. Odafe away. Away we go. 488. $22 million a year is the guarantee we're looking at here. 44 guaranteed total. Probably going to be more than that.
Yeah.
17.5 sacks the last 2 seasons. He had none with the Ravens until the trade, and then got 7.5 with the Chargers. He goes up against ya boy, EJ, the man who once played a trick on a young Cub reporter, Rasul Douglas, who will be 31 years old this season.
I like a Rasul. I think he's intriguing. Yeah. I think in this exercise especially.
Yeah.
I could see it.
I do think it's more likely than Owe, because I think Owe is going to be one of the highest paid targets in free agency. And it gets back to the conversation of, do you think Owe has a bigger market than Jalen Phillips, you think?
I don't think so. And so that's why I don't really see the path where they don't sign Jalen Phillips, but then they sign Owe.
Right.
I agree.
So you're saying
I think Phillips will be paid more. I do.
Okay. All right. Well then, yeah. So then, okay.
But I don't think it's going to be that much more.
So let's say Phillips is making his decision solely off money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, there's a walkaway number that the Eagles are not willing to get to this point, so I'm going to wherever. I'm going to Washington. And
by the way, have you seen the Commanders have like re-signed 3 defensive linemen over the past 48 hours?
Right.
It's like, we got to make sure we lock up this crew again. Like, great work you're doing there, Adam Peters.
Team, man.
Well, yeah. But so all right, so they don't bring back Phillips, but that's a good number for Owe, and Owe is like, oh, this is a good organization. You don't see a path there that they can make that work?
And they're skipping over Chubb to do this.
That would be the thing, yeah.
And do you think Vic Fangio is an Owe guy?
Owe.
For that.
We say
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not like a pass rush merchant type of player.
Pass rush merchant. I like that.
Owe.
An Owe over Rasul here.
I'm just making the argument.
Okay. I probably lean Rasul.
I think I would go Rasul too.
I think I would.
I don't think they're going to bring back Rasul, but
more likely than Owe.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think Rasul could be this year's Adoree Jackson. No, sure.
I just realized that if they re-sign Rasul, you're going to make me relive this moment that I had with Rasul Douglas.
I mean, I honestly wasn't going to, but now that you doubled down,
there was a lock of the century.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like I was going to go up to Rasul and
you were going to like film me.
I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I would have done that.
You would have done something.
I'm always going to do something.
Exactly. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying. Now I have to think about that.
Rasul. You going Rasul Douglas?
What?
You going with Rasul?
Yeah, I think Rasul is one.
Yeah.
Right. Rasul Douglas. That means first round's over.
First round's done.
Wow. So many upsets.
So many memories.
So many memories.
And look at that. Lindsay's already got a crack.
Wow.
So,
look at that.
Coming up tomorrow on the defensive side of the bracket, Trevon Diggs against Kwity Paye, Greg Newsome against Marshon Lattimore, Geno Stone against Jalen Thompson, Malcolm Koonce against Alontae Taylor. And you've got Boye Mafe against Jaquan Brisker, Kobe Bryant against Arnold Ebiketie, AJ Epinesa against Kobe Durant, and Bradley Chubb against Rasul Douglas. We'll find out who makes it to the Final Four from those guys. And they'll be going up against the offensive group. Isaiah Likely, Adam Troutman, Charlie Kohler, Zach Ertz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Elijah Vera Tucker, Kendrick Bourne, Romeo Dobbs, De'Ami Brown, David Njoku, Brandon Cooks, Marquise Brown, Chigo Okonkwo, Greg Dulcich, Jonah Williams, and Kokeef. Anybody on the offense interesting to you, Fran, since you were not with us yesterday?
I know he's going to say.
All the blocking tight ends. Kokeef, Charlie Kohler, all those guys. Yeah.
You feel?
I think I'm higher
Bradley
on
Chubb for Charlie Kohler.
What's that?
You feel a Bradley Chubb for Charlie Kohler?
I was you guys not liking Kate Otten was
Kate Otten caught a
caught a lot of trades.
Kate Otten's listening to the pod on his way to the gym, and he's like, "These guys are so funny." And he's, man, they really hate me.
I don't hate him.
Do you think? I mean, I don't know.
I think he's a good player.
I'll be interested to see what his numbers look like.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get huge numbers.
I think he's going to get 16, 17. I don't know why you would do that and not just bring back Goddard for a year.
Well, that's what we talked about that Tuesday.
Yeah.
If Dallas wants that.
Yeah, true. But price. All right. Anything else?
Shout out to Kim in the chat. Thanks for the Ritas.
Thanks to Kim from Rita's.
From Rita's.
From Rita's.
Unraveling fast.
I have a little trivia.
Ooh.
You talked about one guy being 6'9". Who's the tallest current NFL player right now?
Daniel Faalele.
Wrong.
Ooh.
I think
it used to be Alejandro Villanueva, but
Do you want me to give you a division?
AFC South. The Jaguars.
Is it King Dunlap?
No.
There's a player I have comped to King Dunlap in this class.
Really?
Yeah, Markel Bell from Miami.
Mm.
He's huge.
NFC North.
NFC North. Oh no, you're not going to say Dan Skipper, are you? He's retired. He
no.
It says as the 20. Well, the next season hasn't started yet, so
yeah, good.
we're still in 2025.
So it will be Faalele, right?
Might be.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. He could retire too.
Could retire.
He could
Day
trade.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new season hasn't started yet, right? That's Monday at noon.
Fair. Dan Skipper.
He
He retired, and then literally that day was coaching down at the Shrine Bowl.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's trying to get in coaching.
Some
right away.
guesses in the chat for
Do you know the tallest player ever?
Jordan Mailata.
Tallest player ever.
There was like a stunt guy who was signed like as a joke, or not as a joke, but like as a gimmick to like potentially try to block kicks. Is that the guy it is?
This is somebody who played for the Raiders in 1967.
Oh,
6'7".
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Richard Sly. 7 foot.
Ain't nothing sly about that, my
Yeah,
man.
7 foot, 300-pound defensive tackle.
7 foot.
There's one player on the Eagles roster that's tied Jordan Mailata for being the tallest on the roster. Do you know who it is?
Fred Johnson.
Nope.
Kamren Williams.
No, you're close.
Miles Hinton.
No, still close. You're in the neighborhood. He's a nice guy. Very nice.
Right, so I can rule out a few people that you were talking about.
Nice guy. In that cluster. You want me to just tell you?
Jordan Mailata.
He's tied with Jordan Mailata. Yes.
Who you got?
Alan Pierce.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
True local guy from Trenton.
I like that actually. I like the take that Pittsburgh's local, but Trenton's not.
That brings up a debate of like, is it just North Jersey and South Jersey? Is there a Central Jersey? Comment if you think there's a Central Jersey or not.
You heard the woman. Comment if you think there's a Central Jersey.
Just comment Central Jersey.
And stay tuned tomorrow, 2:00. What else you got to do? Find out. You can tune in tomorrow, 2:00, and then you can just skip next week. Because
No, you can't skip next week.
we're going to tell you who their Eagles are going to sign. But then come back on Monday and be ready for the extravaganza live at noon. 3 hours at least here from the PHLY Xfinity Studios. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Fran. Thank you, EJ. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Lindsay. And thank you most of all to all of you out there. As long as you hit the like button. You freeloaders.
No. You didn't have to make it like that.
See you later. Talk to you tomorrow. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.